Hello, I'm Darkscar, and welcome to my second ever BFDI analysis video. I've put up a post asking which character I should analyze next out of 3 BFDIE characters, and you guys have picked Rose. Which is why today we will be analyzing this flowery contestant. And their journey starts like most other contestants. They start off as a recommended character, specifically in BFDI 13. Right about here. This is Rose's first ever appearance in the series, being recommended by FireMoss1. She appears next to Match and then suddenly in a bush next to the announcer while he's announcing the Red Ball Challenge. This is kind of the last we really get of Rose for a while, and we don't see her until BFDI Mini. And she doesn't do very well in Season 1. She gets second to last place. A huge change of pace for her would be Season 2 of BFDI Mini, or BFDI Mini again. She does relatively well this season, avoiding elimination left and right, and actually makes it to the finale against Tent, after using an electric guitar and getting him eliminated. With this decided, we're at the final 2 in a tic-tac-toe contest between Tent and Rose. Such a strange final 2, honestly. However, thanks to Deadly, Rose can cheat and wins the season. And after this, we don't see anything about her. We do see her briefly in Teapot 18 interacting with Loser, but that's it.
3, 6, 9, 12. Which yellow cube always excels? Loser. Loser.
Anyway, Season 6 rolls around. Because, yeah. Also, yes, I know I forgot the Teapot 15 thing, but that doesn't really matter, even though it's the first time she talks. She's voiced by Gooseworks, by the way. You know, creator of The Amazing Digital Never mind. For the grand 100th episode of BFDI, Rose is one of the 12 competitors for Season 6 ready to compete for Nightmare Island. She starts her journey by joining the Cheaters Alliance along with Sticker and Beach Ball. Well, forcefully, because she knows their secret. Anyway, she's the first one in the season to gain an immunity, so cheating paid off. She starts off episode 2 by immediately finding a golden ball. However, David wants it, and her and David get in a fight until she decides just to eat the ball and possibly get David out because he's strong. She runs around for the rest of the challenge getting balls for herself, talks to Fern for a little bit, and that's really it. She doesn't do much in episode 2, and is honestly just a background character, but she'll become more prevalent in the later episodes when she betrays the Cheater Alliance. She did become enemies with Toothpaste for a period of time, and ended up actually being second safe with 2,940 balls. In episode 3, she is the first one chosen for a fight and has to fight her ally Beach Ball. And actually, she's the only one here that's no nonsense with this, and just brutally kills him by sucking the air out of him with Needy. She has an argument with Sticker in episode 4 about this, and well, it doesn't end well for her, as she just ends up pulling out a flamethrower like anyone would and kill Sticker. She also goes against Sidewalkie for a bit. However, Sidewalkie sucks at throwing snowballs, and they all get burned to a crisp. And so does Sidewalkie. Rose has been first, second, and first safe this whole season, and now she's actually stepping out of her comfort zone and being powerful. It's really shocking to see someone this violent in an earlier season canonically. However, she chases Fern and Jamie into a cave. Both of them run, well, as much as they could run, as they finally get cornered. Jamie opens her big fat mouth, causing Rose to get an idea and throw a snowball. This is where the bugs are. And well, Rose is shocked. Her and Jamie run away from the duplicating bugs as fast as they can. After the bug outbreak, she goes to give Jamie an elimination. However, her flamethrower is stolen by Sidewalkie, she is frozen by Ruler, And Fern throws the snowball, getting Rose out. And that's the end. She decides to take a silent vow after her elimination and is paired up with Needy for the rejoin challenge. However, like many others, she fails to rejoin, and this is actually the end of her run for the season, and currently forever, from what we know. Now, yet again, what am I getting at here? Well, when she first appeared, she was the second boot of the season. Not very impressive. She had no personality and was very poorly animated and was just useless, and she got eliminated to evidence bag. In her second ever season, she ended up winning the season, however, cheated. Maybe this influences her personality for Bfdi, where she decides to cheat and join the Cheaters Alliance. And both these seasons perfectly write her up for season 6. She is the perfect mix of a character. She's careless like Needy, mean like late season Money, bossy like Ruler, as much as a cheater as Sticker, and is amazing at challenges. She is the perfect contestant. However, Rose is mildly hated because she never made it as far as the other contestants. I believe if she actually made it far in Bfdi, she would be like 10 times more popular than she is now. So what could Jack and Jellyfy do? Well, the obvious answer is add Rose to another season, possibly building up on her character more, allowing her to get further, or even create new connections with original contestants. Possibly Flower. Their personalities mix, if you think about it. They're both competitive in their own way, they both won a season, and yeah. What could have they done? Possibly allowed her to actually get someone eliminated, possibly Fern or Jammy, or maybe even Toothpaste at the time. I think her dynamic with Sticker was just so unexplored to that point and was so underutilized. However, even if she did make at least Final 6, what would have she done? She would have been a much more interesting finalist than Fern or Sticker, or maybe even argue with Money in the finale. Compared to other contestants, she has a personality, she's competitive, and she's actually good at doing her job. She's able to distract people like David, trick people like Toothpaste, and humble people like Jammy and Sticker. It's just amazing. And they should have used her more. I know why they probably couldn't have because, well, Gooseworks was busy with the Amazing Digital Circus. It's similar to how Tomska voices Ruler, and it would have been hard to get him to do more voice lines. But honestly, that's all I have to say about Rose. She's an amazing contestant that was just unfortunately underutilized. She had potential, but just lost to the fan favorites. Maybe we'll see her in future Teapot episodes, or Bfdi Season 2, or whatever there could be in the future. Anyway, thank you, hope to see you in the next analysis, and goodbye.